From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
And good afternoon, everybody. It's a big day here on Afternoons LA and live on Channel 3, Wall Street Live. On today's recording, we go over the big success stories that viewers are having with getting massive amounts of stimulus, brand new stimulus this week. And one viewer, Spelly, who has gotten not one, not two, but multiple checks, got another check overnight. It's his fourth check in less than about 2 weeks. And I'm going to show you how to do this as well. It's coming up in today's recording. $300,000 of stimulus checks passed by Congress and the President of the United States, all brand new for Black Friday, for Thanksgiving. It's coming up in today's recording. Stay in the big second half. But first, the breaking news. The retailers for especially apparel, home goods, sporting goods, and also electronics reported corporate earnings today. We knew this was the day. We had predicted what they were going to do. Did we get it right or did we get it wrong? We'll go over the latest details as Best Buy, Dick's Sporting Goods, and other companies reported corporate earnings like Abercrombie & Fitch. And did they beat in that third quarter or did they miss? And what does it say about the U.S. economy? It's all great news. Then we go over to Loretta Mester, one of the most beloved Federal Reserve governors. She reiterated exactly what the Federal Reserve says they're going to do with those interest rate spikes. The first governor to do so in less than 2 weeks. We'll go over her comments across the board. Plus, we'll count down to the following three items. Two more governors speaking next week. The personal consumption expenditure index for inflation coming in next week, and then the Federal Reserve with a raise of interest rates to battle inflation as well. Plus, brand new details today about Bitcoin and crypto. Bitcoin is now today, or at least early this morning, at the lowest level it's been in 2 years. Yes, and the cryptocurrency market is really collapsing dramatically. On the latest breaking news and what you need to know. For the shores of Santa Monica, California, thank you for joining me on a brand new Afternoons LA for Thanksgiving, a brand new Wall Street Live on Channel 3. It's a big day and a lot of money to go over. We're going to cover all that and more. Everything you need to know. Stay with me on this 1 hour broadcast as massive stimulus is available for you, as Spelly got as well. Let's get to the breaking news starting right now. And good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is gorgeous here along the coast as Loretta Mester, one of those Fed governors, spoke minutes ago. We'll have her comments, and it's a countdown to two more Fed governors next week. It's a big show tonight across the board. We're going to also go over the latest details on your economy, your recession, your benefit raises, and of course, your housing market. Unemployment also heats up, plus forced stimulus as well. Over this 1 hour broadcast, sit back and get ready to get some money. The breaking news starts right now on Afternoons LA on Channel 1 and Wall Street Live on Channel 3. How are you? This show is taped live at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Channel 3. So if you ever want to watch it live, that's what you might be watching right now. Or otherwise, you watch it taped on Channel 1 at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Brand new. Big success stories for a brand new viewer. That brand new viewer is Spelly. He had gotten already check A and check C. Then he had also gotten the brand new check stimulus N, the tablet. But overnight, he sent me a beautiful message, said, LA, I got another round of check C. That's the true mentality. That's a true purple power spirit. You don't stop with one check. You keep on getting more checks. It's sort of like Margaret Owens, who sent a beautiful message yesterday. He said, you know what? I have a meeting to get some more checks, and I'm going to get them. Margaret Owens said, I have a meeting to get 6 more months of LG&E utilities. That's a lot of money, folks. That's a utilities, it's 6 months of it. And she had pounced to get some other water paid for as well. It comes on the heels of Kimberly Romano, featured on this channel yesterday. She got check B and A. And how much did she get from this channel? $50,000 of stimulus. It's brand new stimulus. It's from the federal government. It's in every U.S. state. It's 300 different checks, $300,000 of it. I'm going to show you how to get it in this recording. This is LATE, America's #1 most watched financial news channel for this subject matter in America, #3 overall. I teach people how to get the money, and Kimberly Romano learned really well because she got Check B, federal stimulus in every U.S. state. She got Check B for 18 months. How many checks over 18 months did she get? About 5 checks a month. And how much per month? That's about $2,300 approximately. And she got $4,000 of utilities on top of that. Wow. That is $36,000 plus 4. That's $40,000. It doesn't stop there yet. In addition to Check B, she got Check A, which is upwards of $12,000. So that could potentially be about $50,000 for Kimberly Romano. Here's what you need to know. Over this 1-hour broadcast, LALATE is going to show you how to get this massive stimulus. It is law. It has been passed. Viewers on this channel have been getting it. I've gotten viewers $50 million because this is an educational channel where I teach people how to do these things, earn to learn. And I'm going to show you over this 1-hour broadcast, get a pen and paper out or just get ready to listen. And I'm going to show you how to do it, but start by going on this video, becoming a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Parrot, Casino VIP. More about these checks in a second. But let's go right into the breaking news with those corporate earnings coming in for third quarter from the retailers we were waiting to see on Tuesday. And it came in minutes ago. Yesterday on Monday, we went over each of the companies and we tried to predict it. Some of them were hard. I predicted some of them as well. And I said, maybe I'm going to get them wrong. And I got them wrong because it was really hard to gauge them. Now, before I go over them, and this is what Josh Brown, who's a brilliant analyst, always says, remember the context. I want you to remember the context. This is 2022, and I'm about to report third quarter corporate earnings for some companies. Here, for example, one of them I'm going to go over is Zoom. You know what Zoom is, of course. Zoom was a $600, $400 stock this year. It's now a $40 stock. So it's lost 90% of its equity value if you own the stock just a few months ago. And so even if it beat today, it's not particularly a good year for it. Best Buy is down 30%, the stock alone this year. So even if it beat, what is it beating on? Moreover, remember, as Josh Brown would always have you focus on this, and I want to focus as well, remember what they're beating on often is a downward guided number. Let's look at the numbers right now. Let's see if you got it right. Jump in the live chat. I want you to interact with me. If you weren't watching yesterday, you can do it right now. We're going to try one more time to predict it before I give you the answer, because now I have the answers because they were reported minutes ago. Best Buy. Do you think Best Buy beat better than expected or miss, came in lower than expected, top and bottom revenue and net profits for third quarter? Here we go. The answer was beat. Best Buy beat on top and bottom, and it rallied up 7% the stock on the news today. Why did it beat? It beat because it had some discounts that apparently worked. More about Best Buy in a second. Dick's Sporting Goods, which is outdoors. This is team sports, apparel, basketballs, baseballs, things like that. Do you think it beat or do you think it missed? I thought this was going to be a miss as well, and I was wrong. Dick's Sporting Goods came in with a beat on top and a beat on the bottom, and it actually raised year-end forecasts. Best Buy also raised full year forecasts. This is huge, folks. So that stock was up 7% today as well. Dollar Tree. Okay, so we've not had a real discount broker in a long time. Dollar Tree, I thought might be comparable to like a Ross department store, sort of comparable perhaps to a Walmart. And Walmart beat and Ross also beat. So did Dollar Tree beat? That was my prediction. What are you going to put for Dollar Tree? Jump in the live chat. Dollar Tree, comma, beat or miss, comma, your state. I said beat, and I was wrong on that as well. Dollar Tree missed. Excuse me, no, I did get it right. Dollar Tree did beat on top and bottom. It did beat on top and bottom, but it didn't beat enough, and that's why the stock is down 4.4 in pre-market trading. Abercrombie and Finch, which is rebranded in the last few years. What do you think on this one? It's sort of like a Gap, and Gap beat yesterday. Do you think A and F beat? Jump in the live chat. I will go beat without seeing the data, and let's look. A and F did beat and did actually really well on its beat. The stock is up 13% in one day in pre-market trading. Wow. So there you go. I mean, that is a couple of retailers, and there's not a single miss in that group. They're all beats. What's going on here? Let's go over to something a little bit slightly comparable. Urban Outfitters, which again, apparel. Well, I'm going to predict beat on this one. We didn't ask this one yesterday. What happened? It beat on revenue, but it was slightly lower than some estimates, so it was a beat. The stock is up 2.2. So let's go to something totally different. Zoom and Dell Computers. This is not retail. This is a little bit different. Zoom and Dell Computers. Well, Dell missed. The stock is down 2% pre-market trading, and Zoom missed. Stock is down 9%, and the year end, the stock has really been hit very, very bad. Fascinating. So this is a year in which these companies had downward guided all year long, and now they're beating on the downward guidance. These are companies whose stocks, like Best Buy, are down 30% this year alone. You're losing your shirt in Best if you own a Best Buy stock. But today they're beating, and some of them are getting a nice little pop, 10, 20% to maybe offset the very bad year. And then they're actually raising year-end guidance. It's looking pretty rosy, don't you think? It's looking pretty rosy, a little bit more rosy than the Thanksgiving turkey. Well, if that sounds confusing, that's why you need to get the stimulus. Massive stimulus is available to millions of Americans, billions of Americans today. And I'm going to go over the latest details of that stimulus. This is big stimulus that was passed by Congress and the President of the United States in the month of March. Viewers on this channel have been getting it from March. If you just found this channel, welcome. Over this 1 hour broadcast, I'm going to show you how to get this big sums of money that the viewership of my channel have been getting since March of this year. How much are they getting? They're getting 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 on average. And there's a lot of money, and it's all available for you. 3 categories of checks. Let's go over the overview of these checks before we go into the specifics later in the video. The overview of the checks, the 3 categories are federal stimulus checks from the federal government. Notice that word, federal, has nothing to do with your states. The federal government sends it out, administers the money, and sends the money to you. 3 categories of checks to start with, passed by Joe Biden, and more checks that came thereafter. Total of 300 different checks, $300,000. We're going to go over each of these FSCs, federal stimulus checks, in just a second. Next up, inflation relief stimulus checks, ISCs, and they are absolutely wonderful. Then we go over to lifetime stimulus. They're coming up also in this broadcast. Over this 1 hour broadcast, I'm going to go over every single check, show you how you apply for every single check one at a time, teach you how you apply for it, give you success stories so you understand what other viewers are doing this week alone on these checks, and teach you how to do it. Last night, in the 4th episode of our brand new show, LA Late Night, which airs at 8 o'clock live on this channel, 2 viewers, their names were Dragon Ionis, said, LA, no one does what you do. You don't sit back and just read a script of what's going on with stimulus. You're the person and the only person in American broadcasting since day one who has taught people how to get things. You research it, you find it, and you teach people how to do it. No one does this. No one does this. So I want this to be very clear to you. If you just found this channel, you are already on the path to financial freedom. All you have to do is listen and pay attention, and I will teach you how to get this big money. You're not going to see this local news, your cable news, another broadcaster. They don't cover it. They don't research it. And they don't frankly care about you. I do. And this incredible community is a caring community called the Purple Power Community. I'll show you how to get these checks in just a second. But now let's go back into the breaking news that we were dealing with, which is these retail sales. Wow. So many companies beating on a very, very bad year and now raising year-end guidance across the board. Let's go into what happened with Best Buy, and maybe Best Buy will give us an indication of why this suddenly became not so bad after all. Best Buy's CEO, Connie Berry, said sales declined across most categories. The largest was computers and home theater. Home theater is down, but she said compared to 2019, computing is up 23% and appliances are up 37%. So they're up compared to 2019, but they're down compared to 2021 and 2020. Fascinating across the board. When you look at the when you look at what's going on, do we get any understanding of the entire industry from Best Buy? Let's look at the data. So Best Buy says it expects holiday sales to be down 10% year to date compared to 2021. But they still believe it's a very good outlook across the board. Across consumers, we can also see that savings are being drawn down and that credit usage is up. And value clearly matters to everyone. So I think this is really fascinating. Number one is that this means that the debt levels is exactly what's at issue. Can people put things on credit card? And when they still can, they will. And number two, that they understand they don't have a lot of savings, so they're looking for really discounted items. But they do believe that this will be in an uncertain holiday shopping season, and yet expect same store sales to drop about 11% for 12 months starting in January. Now, why this is so important is that will there be foot traffic in the stores starting tomorrow? If you missed yesterday's broadcast of this channel, you've been hired. you've been figuratively hired. Why? I'm hiring you as a brand new reporter for LALATE. What are you doing? So I want you, if you were in the malls this holiday week for Black Friday, keep your eyes and ears open and your nose smelling to see how many consumers are in the stores. And then when it happens, I want you to report back to me in the live chat and on private messages on Facebook how many people you see in the stores. What type of store is it? What type of town is it? And what stores are doing well? What stores are doing badly? Because ultimately, we want to get some sense of what's going on with this industry. Certainly, we see it today with computing and Zoom not doing well, but apparel doing well. But people really looking for those discounts, and even Best Buy saying it's all based upon sale items and big credit card debt. Fascinating across the board. Best Buy is, again, down 30% year to date, but the stock got a nice little pop today across the board. This is why you have to get this stimulus, because if this was confusing, it got even more confusing. We thought this was bad. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's coming up around and turning the turn, or maybe it's just, having a nice little pop after a very confusing year. The totality, the summary, is that the CEOs of these companies say it's very uncertain. They have no idea what's going to happen this month of November, December with those numbers. And that's why you have to get stimulus as well. 3 categories of checks. And the first category is federal stimulus checks, FSCs. What are they? Where do they come from? How do I get them? What does this mean, federal stimulus checks? Let me teach you everything about them starting right now. These federal stimulus checks were passed in March, a series of different ways from the federal government, and let's look at the first 3 passed by Joe Biden in the month of March. The first 3 checks were check A, B, and C. Done by executive action of Joe Biden in March. My viewers got them starting immediately in March. Nearly $100,000 in those first 3 checks. Single individuals who make $75,000 or less annually, go get them. Families who make $150,000 or less, married couple, go get them. If you have children, if you don't have children. If you're on benefits like SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits, go get them as well. I'm going to show you how to get them by becoming a member to this channel, joining the channel right under the button, right on this video. Then came Congress, and Congress passed more checks, E through K, bringing us and you and I to hundreds of checks for the Purple Power community. These are hundreds of checks, and these are where people are walking away with hundreds of thousands of dollars of stimulus checks from this channel by becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, do it right today. Then I found you more checks, all in the LALATE newsletter. That's where you apply for these checks, in the LALATE newsletter. Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time via the YouTube alerts, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. You go down in the alert and apply for each of those incredible checks, and you pounce as a Purple Power member. You pounce and get each of these incredible checks. I'll show you how to do this as a family in just a second. But first, all you do is go into the video and join the channel, and we'll go through each of those incredible checks in just a moment. Loretta Mester is one of the Fed governors, and I really like her. She's really one of my favorites because she's very, very matter-of-fact, no sugarcoating. And she spoke in the last 24 hours, and thank goodness, bless her soul, because she said exactly what the Federal Reserve needed to say. Getting rid of all that nonsense, false analysis that came out of those Fed governors over the last 3 days, she wiped it away and just went back to the script. And that script is what we learned on this channel. The Federal Reserve will continue to raise rates until they get inflation to 2% for several months. Let's say that again. We'll continue to raise rates until they get inflation, which is still at 8%, to 2% over several months, and won't stop until they get there. But she also made clear that they could potentially ease the interest rate spikes each month, and that's not a surprise across the board. I'm predicting the next December FOMC meeting of the Federal Reserve in just a few weeks from now will be a 50 basis point increase, not the more austere 75 that happened last month. She says, we're going to have to do more work because we need to see inflation really on a sustainable, that means a while, downward path back to 2%. We're still going to raise the funds rate, but we're at a reasonable point now where we can be very deliberate in setting monetary policy. Esther George, Fed president out of Kansas City, and St. Louis's James Bullard, who we already heard from yesterday, will speak again on Tuesday. I like him as well. He is also very matter of fact, and his analysis was very keen on point. Come in the big second half, we're going to continue with the breaking news and the shocker, as Bitcoin has now fallen to the lowest levels in 2.5 years, and massive amounts of cryptocurrency has been wiped out. What's going on? Oh, it's not particularly good. It's coming up in the big second half. But let's get some stimulus. Let's continue with those federal stimulus checks, FSCs. And let's start with the first three checks. Checks A, B, and C. Check A is a $6,500 to $12,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Spelly got this as his very first check. Barbara Romano, excuse me, not Barbara, her name is, I must mess that up, Kimberly Romano. We have two Romanos on this channel. Kimberly Romano got this one just days ago. $6,500 to $12,000. How do you get this? You go under the video, become a member, join this channel for just a few dollars, and become a member and get that newsletter that has all the information about how to apply for those checks in that newsletter. Then go down to Check A, click the link, and go right and apply. It's so simple. Do it right now. You're not done there yet. You're going to go into the newsletter and apply for Check B, $15,000 to $80,000. Now, Check B is the check that Kimberly Romano is sitting on nearly $40,000 this week alone. And Check B is insane because the average viewer of this channel is getting 18 months of 5 checks a month. You remember what Kimberly Romano got? Well, let's look at someone else. Different state, different person, but almost the same success story. Frank Mancuso. Here we go. 18 months, check B. There we go again. All his utilities, well, that's about 4 checks, and his mortgage, that's 5 checks per month. Wow, that is nearly 80 checks. In the case of Frank Mancuso, he joined this channel for just a few dollars, and in less than 30 days, for just a few dollars, he's got $10,000 plus back from this channel. Another viewer out of Florida, she also got 18 months of checks, but she also got 5 of them per month, nearly $80,000 to $100,000. Wow. What are you watching? You're watching LALATE, the #1 most watched financial news channel in America for this subject matter. No one else covers this. No one else cares. No one else puts the effort in. No one else trains you. No one else teaches you. This is not a where is it channel. This is a how to do it channel. And I teach you all this incredible information on this channel morning, noon, and night across the board. LALATE, launched in 2020, has been the most successful brand new broadcasting channel in America, is #3 overall for all financial news, now with 3 channels. LALATE1, the original, LALATE2, and LALATE3. Long form, short form, taped and live programming on all 3 channels. On LALATE1, LALATE Live airs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The very, very popular live show with the breaking news and the latest stocks and crypto breaking news as well. On Channel 2, we have Stimulus Live that airs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that he teaches you how to get money. And then on LA3, we have the latest details on Wall Street, and you may be watching me right now live on Wall Street Live. I had promised to roll out humor on LA1 earlier this week, and I forgot, so I will try to get to it tonight. And also the cooking programming on LA3. That is definitely coming. That is definitely coming. Got a little overwhelmed and forgot to get to that as well. But that is going to get to. It's when you see there's so much going on these three channels. And LATE1 launched 3 days ago. Our brand new question and answer show, which airs at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Trying different time zones, but we're trying different time slots. But I like it there at the moment. It's a lot of fun. Any questions you have, jump into that live show. Go under this video, become a member, and welcome to the nearly 100 new members who joined this channel in the last 48 hours. Go down to Check B and click the link and go right and apply. You're not done there yet. You're going to go get Check C. Now, Check C is more money, and that's what Spelly got more money on just today. He already got some Check C before, but he got more of that money today as well. I'll have his exact numbers on Evenings LA tonight in prime time. Check C is for rent, utilities, mortgage, assistance, and more. How do you get Check C? You go down the membership newsletter to Check C. It tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. The success stories of Check C have been on this channel for a long time. I've gotten people you have gotten $50 million from this channel. And let's look at some of your success stories for Check C. Do you want $30,000 of rent? So go get some Check C. 2 viewers in recent days have gotten 12 months of rent. You want some utilities? I bet you do, because utility bills are up 20% month to month and up 61% year to date. Well, let's look at these utility numbers. Marcus is $6,500. His brother-in-law got $15,000 of utilities. Lynn Glenn got 14 months of utilities and also 5 months of rent. Go get some Check C's, become a member. That same brother-in-law from Mark's is at $250,000 a snap over 10 years, combinations of checks. Niece is at $23,000, she went to $50,000. Mark is at $32,000, he went to this graphic, 50, and then 100, and then 166. And Lorraine was at 105, and she went to 155. Incredible. And you can be the next success story as well. Again, this became law in March. You're not too late to the ball game. You're not too late to the ball game. Welcome to Finding LALATE, and this money is available for you right now. All you do is you go into the video, subscribe. All you do is go into the video, hit the bell, and make sure all notifications are set to on, and go into the video and become a member and get that incredible newsletter and go right in and start applying for these incredible checks like viewers are doing right this moment as well. And they're cleaning up, and you should as well. We're going to continue with these incredible FSC checks after the commercial break, but let's go back into something that we're all watching today, which is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at the lowest levels of 2.5 years. So the cryptocurrency industry is really collapsing. Will it ever come back? And why is it collapsing? And could it get worse? No less than 2 months ago, I said that Bitcoin is going to go to 12,000. It's at 16,000. At the time that I said 12,000, it was a $21,000 coin. I still believe it's going to go to 12,000. Ethereum is at about 1,000. At the time that I said Bitcoin was going to go to 12,000, I said Ethereum will go to about 800. It still has more to fall, and I believe it's going to hit there as well. I'll have the latest details on that in the big second half. Also coming up in the big second half is Holidays LA. You know, it's just days away from that Thanksgiving meal. How do you prepare for it, and how am I preparing for it? We're going to go over Thanksgiving meals and preparations for them in those final hours, what you need to do and how you stagger your tasks going into those final minutes. We'll have everything that's on table for you in that deliciousness in the big Holidays LA second half. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Afternoons LA continues today, and Wall Street Live continues on LA3. See you back in 60 seconds.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE Live Daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Zoom LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now in the big second half from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Happy Thanksgiving, and hope you're having a beautiful week. I will be with you all week long, and I will be on camera all week long, every day this week. So much money and so much excitement. It's important to understand that the state of stimulus is very different right now. And when I taught people last night in that live chat, people really resonated well with it. You need to know what the current situation is. You need to know the current situation on everything that's the U.S. economy. Who would know that Best Buy would beat Abercrombie and Finch and all these companies would beat after they've had a very bad year? Stocks down horribly, downward guidance all year long, and then so they come in and beat, and then they upward guide. If you missed just today's recording, you would have absolutely no understanding of what's happening in the retail market, apparel, and home electronics based upon the surprising news today. The Dow is up based upon this great news. It's a confusing economy, and I don't think in all my years have I seen a more confusing economy. That's why you need to know exactly what's happening on a given day. You cannot miss a recording on this channel at any time throughout the day. And with that, let's continue with these incredible federal stimulus checks. Federal stimulus checks, FSCs, are from the federal government. They send it out. They administer the website. They pay the checks. They're from the people in Washington, D.C. It has nothing to do with your state. Your state has nothing to do with it. Your state doesn't pay for it, has no involvement with it whatsoever. And these federal checks are for every U.S. citizen and U.S. territory. Let's continue with those incredible checks, E through K, passed by Congress. Check E, $7,500 stimulus check. Wow. Check F, a $4,000 stimulus check. Insane. Stimulus G is a wonderful 30% off. Sorry about that. $2,000 is your stimulus H check, and then stimulus I, $8,000. Stimulus J, $8,000. Just incredible. Stimulus K, $14,000. That's huge. As we continue with these FSC checks, then we get to stimulus L, $100,000 on average. Wow. Loan interest free money. Then stimulus N, $4,000 grant. Stimulus N, oh, here we go. Spelly got this because he saw John Maloof get it. Brand new tablet, computer, a laptop. You know, you join a channel for just a few dollars and you get a brand new tablet. That's how it works. That's how it's happening. Ling Glenn watched Spelly and she got it as well. Stimulus O, zero down payment, zero closing costs, and no credit check required. And stimulus P and Q. P is 3% down and Q is $8,000 of free grant money. There you go. The totality of those FSC checks, largest check is $100,000. Smallest check, $8,000. Fastest routing time, 2 days. Johnny started on Monday with his channel, and by Wednesday he had $45,000. By Friday he had $80,000. 15 applications in, half rejected, half approved. Got mom and dad each $50,000. And then over the next few weeks, got 20 friends and neighbors $250,000. We have checks for the home appliances, the home repairs, the computer, the tablet, the internet, the car, the rent, the utilities, the mortgages, and more. It's absolutely incredible. It's federal stimulus checks, and it's massive sums of money. Here are some of the success stories. A longtime triple member to all three channels and volunteer, Dragon, she has got and her family $170,000. We have Johnny, you just heard, $250,000 to 20 friends and neighbors. We have Mark, $166,000. Lorraine, $155,000. We have viewers walking away with 18 months of monthly stimulus checks almost every other day. Now let's recap. Last year we all talked about MSC checks. Whatever happened to those MSC checks? They became law, and they're on this channel, but they're actually better than ever before. Bernie and Co. were talking about MSC checks for 6 months. Well, the MSC checks that I'm giving my viewers are 18 months, not 6 months. Wow. Bernie and Co. were talking about a total of $7,500 of MSC checks. My viewers are walking away with at least $50,000, sometimes over $150,000 of MSC checks. Number 4, Bernie and Co. were talking about $1,000 monthly stimulus checks after the first month of $1,200. Well, my viewers are walking away with thousands of dollars per month of these incredible sums of money. That's how you rock and roll. We'll go over more about this in a second. Now let's go over to inflation relief stimulus checks. And they are beautiful. They're the icing on the cake. They're not the cake, and they're about $1,000. Most states have them, and you go down the membership newsletter, you see check D. D like donut, click the link, and it opens up the state. It tells you the state, the amount of the check, about $1,000, and the website to track it. And finally, lifetime stimulus, because once your benefits go up, they never go down. It's a sad state of American broadcasting when no broadcaster is explaining this at all. They're not explaining this to our veterans or our seniors or anyone on SSI and SSDI. It's such a fundamental question, and they're not explaining it. That's why this channel exists, to help you understand something very basic. That question came in on our debut of our new show, LA Late Night, from a veteran. His question is, the raise we're getting for our benefits next year, does it replace the current raise? The answer, no. It's on top of the current raise, which is totally much better. Imagine yourself in a skyscraper. You're on the first floor 2 years ago, and then you got a 5.9% raise last year. Well, the new raise will be 8.7. That'll bring you to the third floor. It's a raise on top of a raise, yes. And then you get another raise and a raise after that, 2 more raises, because you have 2 more years of inflation after 2023, says Jay Powell. That'll bring you to the 5th floor. The 5th floor, the highest monthly check you'll ever have a generation. Once you go up, you never go down. And your cost of living will go down to the lowest of a generation by year 4 as well. So you will have the largest check because of 4 consecutive cumulative raises, but the cost of living will be the cheapest of a generation. Wow, that's incredible, great news. Which brings us to this not so incredible great news today, and it's cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is really collapsing, and it's exactly as I have predicted. I have predicted Bitcoin to go to 12,000. It's at 15,000 earlier today. I predicted Ethereum to go to 800 or 900. It is closer to about 1,000 right today. But more importantly, I think it is really the end of cryptocurrency as we once knew it for a while. Let me tell you the fundamentals of what's going on and the psychology of what's going on. The fundamentals of what's going on is still the fallout of FTX, which is a major platform to buy cryptocurrency. That fallout has now caused other problems. One, we learned today that FTX has in its accounts $1.2 billion in cash, but it owes in debts $3.1 billion. Now imagine if you're in any type of investment vehicle and you hear, wait a second, you owe more than I've given you, so you don't have enough money in case I want to withdraw my funds. Yes, they owe $3.1 billion and they only have $1.24 in cash accounts. Number 2, once the company collapsed, FTX, hackers started stealing funds, we learned today, and hackers have stolen nearly $500 million, $477 million of cryptocurrency. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that people can actually steal your money after there's so little of it available. So they don't have enough cash to cover your debt, and then we learned that people are stealing what's ever left. Not particularly good. What's also not particularly good is that when you look to the rest of the industry, where you wonder, is this, a problem industry-wide? Well, Grayscale, asset manager Grayscale, which runs the largest Bitcoin fund, will not be answering any questions about how much reserves it has with customers. Here's the direct quote. Due to security concerns, we do not make such on-chain wallet information and confirmation data publicly available through a cryptographic proof of reserve or other advanced cryptographic accounting procedures. That statement was released last Friday. Now, with that, the situation on cryptocurrency is that Bitcoin has now fallen to the lowest price of 2 years, and Bitcoin and also Ethereum as well. But here's a bigger problem. Psychology. The psychology of the industry is all gone. It was no less than 2 years ago, I would say, where we were, coming off the first part of the lockdown, and we were thinking that we were good about before we went back on the lockdown. And what happened was, I remember myself in a bar, and the bartender had previously told me that he had bought into cryptocurrency back in earlier days, like in 2019, 2020, and he had fully remodeled his entire condo based upon the sums of money he had made on cryptocurrency. So the mentality was, hey, it's a great thing. You're going to make a lot of money. As I was enjoying my meal that day in the table, sitting down in that bar, no exaggeration, I heard a group of four young professionals, probably in their early 30s, talking about Cardano. Oh, you got Cardano? I got Cardano. It was like they're excited. It was like they had found the gold rush. It was like they had found the diamond in the rough. The next table over, someone else was talking about cryptocurrency. It was just infectious. What these events happened caused this week is a change of sentiment. These people now realize that this is no longer a word of mouth success story. This is now a word of mouth horror story. It's a word of mouth. Maybe we should not have been so exuberant about it. It's a situation in which things spread quickly on popularity, but also spread quickly on disfavoring, and it doesn't look good across the board. And ultimately, this is why we need, as a family, to always be grounded. In the chats over the last 2 days, we have talked extensively about how people have been raising credit card debt, not you and I, but people not on the channel. And even we have it today again in the Best Buy earnings report from that CEO saying that people are spending on record credit card debt at Best Buy to buy whatever they're buying, a TV. Ridiculous, don't you think? It just sounds absolutely ridiculous, but they're doing it. And those credit card levels are horrible levels across the board. Ultimately, is it sort of like a peer pressure? Is it sort of like a, you do it, I do it sort of thing? Is it basically, a dog, one following the other's lead? There's something going on here that doesn't make sense. So many people went down the same rabbit hole on cryptocurrency. Now people are going down the same rabbit hole on raising credit card debts levels through the roof. So many people are doing those holiday travels with travel and leisure expenditures, $1,000 trips that they cannot afford. When Americans, 60% of them are living paycheck to paycheck. 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So people don't have the cash, but they're spending the money. Concerning? It's very concerning. It's very concerning. And ultimately, the best thing I can tell to you is don't do it. Don't do it. You aren't those people, and I don't want you to associate with those type of people. I don't want you to hang around with people who just do things that requires a level of laziness. Laziness involves thinking that you can just do one step and that you don't have to do anything else. The earliest days of 2020 and 2021 of cryptocurrency involved a level of laziness. People thought they could just buy the coin and sit back and not look at it for 2 weeks, 2 months. Same thing with stocks. They thought, well, I'm coming off a lockdown. Everyone's buying these stocks. I'm on Reddit and someone's recommending it. I don't even know who this person is. I don't know anything about this person, but everyone else is doing it. I will do it. They're doing really well. They're buying Lamborghinis. I will do it as well. I'm not going to spend the time and research the company. I'm not going to spend the time and learn about its corporate earnings. I'm just going to, buy it because everyone else is doing it. And I'm going to go have a cappuccino. Lazy. Absolutely lazy. When you don't take the time to learn what you're about to do, you're going to get in trouble. You're absolutely going to get in trouble. It's just like everyone who bought a car last year and thought, oh, I'll put it on a car loan. I'll be able to afford it. I have my job. My job's going to be secure. And one of the things we've been talking about on this channel, and certainly a lot of the members have been talking about, is job nirvana-ish. People think their job is absolutely going to stay there. They think their job is very stable from now all the way next year. Carvana, which is a auto use retailer, 2 days ago, last Friday, announced that it's laying off 10% of its workforce. Then the stock was down 10%. Then Barclays downgraded the company on worries that the company is going to run out of cash. Run out of cash? If you haven't endured a time in which store closures, bankruptcies of famed and beloved businesses are happening, then you don't know how sudden it is. You just wake up Monday morning and suddenly a particular company you always bought stuff from suddenly is gone. And you say, how did it go away? Mismanagement? Yes. Bob Iger became the brand new CEO once again at Disney on Monday. And what did he do instantly? Restructured. I'm not going to go into extensively today in this recording, but Bob Iger came into Disney and said, there's a mess here, and I'm going to restructure this company right away. You're not going to leave this company so confused and messy. And that is sort of what I'm talking about with people and their money. Lazy people who just do things that are lazy are really going to be big trouble. They're the people that sort of jump in the live chat and say, you know, Congress and Bernie and Recon, and let me recite some words from 3 years ago, and let me, you know, whatever happened, that's just all laziness. Those people are going to be big trouble. People putting things on credit card debt and unable to figure out whether they have the cash or not. People not balancing their budget. We have a new report yesterday that says people not balancing the budget. Lazy. Very scary. People buying stocks without any understanding of why they're buying the stocks, like a Zoom, you know, down from $400 earlier this year to $40, like Best Buy. Oh, Best Buy is a great company because LATE said a beat on top and bottom. No, you look at Best Buy, the stock is down 30% this year. So you have to really take the time to look at things. It doesn't require a lot of time, just a little bit of time. Because when you do, you're learning to earning. And you're going to do it tonight on E! News LA at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We got a big show coming up tonight. Thank you for all the brand new members. You have found the channel that is changing lives. You have found the community where people are finding that financial freedom. It doesn't require a lot to learn. It doesn't require, all you have to do is want to earn. And we're going to continue it tonight on 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Go under this video, become a member, and get those thousands and thousands of dollars of checks for just a few dollars. Viewers are walking away with tens of thousands of dollars from this channel. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, happy holidays. And finally, holidays, LA. Almost forgot. Nope, I did not. Holidays. How do you prepare for these final days before the Thanksgiving meal? There is several approaches to this, but one of the best approaches, I really think, and I've talked about this in prior years, is staggering. Don't overwhelm yourself. I know it's already getting very close to Thanksgiving, but by now you should have already bought everything. I like buying stuff the week before. I like buying all the ingredients. I like buying the turkey and or the ham and the lamb and put it in the refrigerator. It will last. You don't have to buy it the last second. You can buy it over 4 or 5 days earlier. Keep it in the refrigerator. It stays fresh. Moreover, I like doing things in staggering. Think to yourself, what am I going to make and when am I going to make it? And if all it requires is taking out that pot, putting the items in, throwing it in the roaster, turning it on, then all you have to do is have the 4 or 5 items ready on that counter, that pot clean, that stove empty, and the time in which you're going to turn it on, put it right in. It's a 15-minute turnaround time. Once you just have everything ready to go and everything cleaned, empty, and ready on that counter, just throw it all together, put it right in, turn it on, and set the clock, and you're ready to go. It's effortless. It's effortless. Start early. Start really early. If you haven't started already, get all those items, put them right in the refrigerator right now. Don't be buying stuff on the night of Thanksgiving. No, no, no. And then, keep 1 or 2 extra. Keep a ham and a lamb. That's what I did. And stagger it across the board. Lamb is in the oven right now at the LA family. Lamb was in the oven last week as well. There's a ham in the oven as well for Thanksgiving. Not in the oven, in the refrigerator for Thanksgiving. And a ham is a 5-second task. It's a 5-second task. All you have to have is the pot clean, the stove empty, and the cans of whatever you're adding to it ready to open. And you know exactly what you're going to do. It's a 5-minute prep time, and you just throw it in the oven, and you turn on the game and watch me as well. And I will watch you tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time from the shores of Santa Monica, California. If you're watching this live, join me next on Channel 1 on LA Mornings, coming to you live. If you're watching this taped on LA1 on afternoons, coming up next is Evenings LA. For the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Stay informed, stay focused. Make sure you become a member, get all those incredible sums of money, and stay with LA for more.